Hello and welcome to DarkHorse FM, and in today's video I'm going to show you guys a neat trick that I used to dominate the AI in Football Manager 2022. It's a very simple trick, but it has helped me with Salford, and we were predicted to finish in 13th place, and so far so good. In the SkyBet League One, we are sitting in first, top of the league, and we're yet to lose a game. So what you're going to do first of all is to go into the data hub. I know what you're thinking. In the first few games of the league, the data hub is not actually active yet. But if you go into the data hub, even though you're going to be greeted with that screen that tells you that your data analytics are not yet ready after the first three. You're going to get them after the first 3 games of your season. What you're going to do is just to hover into the next opponent tab. The next opponent actually has data involved, so the AI actually checks your next opponent. So what you're going to do is to go into the overview of your next opponent. Like now I'm having a game against Doncaster Rovers next. So you're going to go into the key findings of Doncaster Rovers. They always attach a particular data that we're looking for. That is the last match passes that Doncaster Rovers had. So you're going to go into the last match passes. Now look at the pass map. In that pass map, you're going to find the one player that has received the most passes in the game. That likely is going to be the main threat from your opposition team. So what you're going to do is to go into the opposition instructions and to mark that player out. So in your tactics screen, you're going to hover over to opposition instructions, and then you go into the OIs. You're already going to have the next team that you're playing against set up in your opposition instructions. We're going to find the one player that we're looking for. So I realized that after going through the entire video, I did actually check the player that I was supposed to mark. So looking at here, we can see that the player that we have here is the fullback on the left hand side, number 23. Noting the player's name and squad number is quite important, because sometimes it might be a different player that's going to start in the game. So if you see that is a player on the left hand side like this, now I'm seeing this left back number 23 in Gavin Hayward. Is this Hayward? Yeah, Gavin Hayward. Let's take him for example. Gavin Hayward is probably the left fullback in Doncaster Rovers. So we're going to go back to the tactics screen and then go into the opposition instructions, and then we're going to find Gavin Hayward. He is the left fullback, just like the analytics showed us. What you're going to do first is to put this guy on type marking. You can go ahead and then apply assistant manager's recommendations for the opposition instructions, but never forget to always put Gavin Hayward on type marking, because the idea behind the type marking is you want to nullify the opposition's ability to actually play up from the back, or the opposition's ability to actually create chances. This player that received the most passes in the game can also be the deep line playmaker, or the central midfielder, or the attacking midfielder. You need to find that guy. Once you find that guy, is to put him on type marking throughout the game. Watch the game and see what happens. Now, there are situations where you're going to come up with much bigger teams that seem to have a lot more possession of the ball, and their pass map is going to look quite different. Looking at my own Salford teams, because we've been doing well so far, we had a lot of possession of the ball based on the tactic that I actually designed. You can see that the pass map is going to look quite different. And in this, looking at this pass map, you can see that a lot of players actually receive possession of the ball, because I am playing a sort of possession and also attacking based style of play. So when you have a lot of players receiving possession of the ball, you just need to pick 1 or 2 of them. You don't need to mark all of them. If you're a much bigger team, you can try that, but I've never really had good results marking so many players at once. So what you have to do is to select just the one player. Like for example here, looking at my own team, if I was supposed to nullify my Salford team, is to look at my right back and then put my Xavier Simmons on type marking. Once you nullify this guy, you probably have settled the problem in trying to deal with my Salford team. So once you set this guy on type marking, you selected him, and then you can allow everybody else to kind of have their freedom. But if you notice that it's not working, just take off the type marking from Xavier Simmons and then put it on somebody else, and then just use that to try and manage a game and see how the results turn out for you. But that's what I've been doing to help you get good results with Salford here in the SkyBet League One. So guys, that's a simple trick of how I was able to dominate with Salford in SkyBet League One using that simple opposition instruction trick. If you like content like this, remember to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications bell so you can get notified when new videos come up. I'll be back with new videos like this, and I'll catch you in the next video.